Kroger Delivery has one mission: to deliver the freshest food right to your door. That's why our drivers are pros. Our trucks are refrigerated. And when it comes to low prices, we always deliver. With $20 off your first order of $75 or more, there's no better time to get in on the action. Mission accomplished. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
It's Deprogram, the podcast where we try to get you into a band. That's right. We've done all the work for you. All you have to do is press play and listen. And you probably didn't hear John, because I already accidentally cut it. But you may have heard John shouting Sebadoh, because Sebadoh is who we're talking about today. And John, you put him on the board, and the first thing I said when I put this panel together, because I think you kind of asked what I know about them, I told you basically I know them from the Frogs. So that's all you really need to know about this. But clearly you are a fan of Sebadoh. You've been sitting on this one for a while. So talk to me about Sebadoh and what it was that made you want to talk about them.
Yeah, I love Sebadoh, and they are, to me, I think, along with Pavement in the 90s, they are like the quintessential, like, quote unquote indie rock band. Like, they took influences from the Minutemen to Nick Drake to Minor Threat to, whatever else you can think of, just throwing all this stuff in a blender and coming out with, like, they can break your heart with these acoustic songs, or they can just tear into a 12-minute jam, or they can do a 45-second hardcore song. Like, one of those bands that just, it was what it was, and they just, you got whatever was in Lou Barlow's head, basically. And yeah, I mean, coming out of Dinosaur Jr., that whole story with him, getting fired or quitting Dinosaur Jr. because of Jay Mascis, and then coming out and having the first song be like one of the most spiteful songs of all time. And then they go on this like career, and it changes over time, and like they get to more of like they had almost like a Buzzbin thing in the mid 90s, and then they disappeared and then came back, and they've reunited, and it's put out new stuff in the last few years, and they're just like a really interesting band, and because they do just everything, and they seem to do it all very well.
All right. Let's swing this over to Christian. It's your first time here, and one of the first bands you signed up for was this one, and it got swung up the ladder real quick. But talk to me about what leapt out at you about Sebadoh, other than the fact, as you were telling me beforehand, it's one of the few bands left that we haven't done yet.
Yeah, I think, as I say, I really got into the show quite late. But I've been binging all the episodes from the bands that I've loved that you've done so far. But with Sebadoh, I think, what John's actually said, it's that kind of mix of the melody. I mean, we'll talk about this at length, but Lou Barlow's sense of melody, he's a genius in my eyes in terms of the melodies and the beauty and the emotion, but also just the noise. Just it's that contrast, and they just, I don't know. We'll talk about how I got into them in the first place, but just that combination of two things, the two ends of the spectrum of the music that I love. I love heavy stuff, and I love really pretty chord progressions and all that, and I just think they sort of meet in the middle, really. And ever since I first heard the song, I've loved them as a band ever since.
I love the word you used there, contrast. And one of the first things you guys said, again, as we kind of got the list together and, we started talking about, how we were going to go about it. You said, take your time with it because it's challenging. And, as I'm going through it, like I was listening today earlier and just thinking that was a word that kept coming to my head was like, there is this contrast between what the music's doing, what the vocals are doing. And like, it can be grating if you're not into that kind of thing. Lucky for me, I love challenging music. It isn't always my go-to, but like, I love people who take chances the way Sebadoh do. Or Sebadoh does. Sebadoh do.
Yeah, I loved John's comment when we were talking about, as you say, this give it some time. This is not an immediate band.
Yeah.
I just thought, that sums it up. You've got to give them time.
But it is funny. Like and we'll get into this as we get into the songs. But the crazy thing is, it was pretty immediate for me. Like I immediately knew I was going to like them. And again, we'll get into like the hows and whats and whys. But like, it is a challenge. And as you mentioned, John, there isn't like just a one size fits all for a Sebadoh song. Like there's different things that they can attack you with. So like, as you're going through this, how are you putting your 20 together? Like, what are you looking for to bring to the table for this?
Ooh, yeah. I mean, this is one of the hardest ones that I've had to do. I think I easily had over 40 the first time I went through that I really liked and would have like given a chance to with any other band. And I probably had 7 or 8 that were locks that I like absolutely love, some of my favorite songs. And then it was just a matter of whittling that other 35 down to 13, and I didn't finish until very recently. Like normally that's not how I operate. Like I have it. I'm the first one to get 20 and I'm ready to go and let's do this. But I mean, up until a couple hours ago, I was going back and like changing things and I don't know about this song and how many Jason songs do I want to have and like all this other thing. Like I mean, the Lou songs are some of the more immediate songs, but then you get like the early stuff with Eric Gaffney. Jason, I think, is a great songwriter in his own right. Jason Lowenstein. And I think some of his stuff, especially on on 3 and Big Sale, are just incredible. So I wanted to have some of that stuff as well. But I mean, I've got probably 9 or 10 that I really feel confident about, and the other 10 it was just like, I hope this works out. I hope these are ones that are gonna hit because it really could have gone a lot of different ways.
So, Christian, you and I were talking a little bit beforehand, and you said one of the things that you like is the game part of it. And we'll talk after and see if you still feel the same way. But like, as you're putting your first list together, like how much game are you thinking, or were you just kind of thinking about just the songs in general?
It was quite split for me. Similar to John, I had a fairly easy ride in terms of putting my top 10 together. So I've done it as a top 10 and a 10 honorable mentions, if you like, for the 20. In the first kind of 10, I was quite selfish about it. It's like, no, these are the songs that I love. These are my favorite songs. Had to maybe pop in a couple just to make it round to the 10. But then for the other side of I'm literally staring at a paper and I've got 2 sides of the paper. So for the other side of my paper, I was a little bit more mindful of the aim of the game, if you like, which is to sort of prepare that kind of representative list for somebody to get into the band that's never heard them before and wants to have 10 songs. So I was a little bit more mindful of, okay, well, this song's important for this reason, and a mixture of songwriters and styles, and so a bit of half and half, really.
I found that there was a point, as I think what did I say, 36 on my first pass? I think that was the case. And I was being super mindful of what I was putting through. And then like the cuts, it really was just kind of like a, oh boy, because I wanted to make sure I represented the challenge. I wanted to make sure that there was stuff that wasn't just super easy to the ear. And then there's some Sebadoh songs where I feel like they were super accessible in a very challenging way. Like the music was accessible, but the vocals weren't, or sometimes it was vice versa. So like, I definitely wanted some of those, so I was trying to straddle a line between accessibility and what the band kind of is. So like challenging is going to be the word of the day, because it was a challenge. I don't want to act like it was like my hardest list ever. But getting from 36 down to 20 was pretty miserable. Like I couldn't figure out which ones were the ones to go. I'm kind of echoing what you guys said, is like, there's a good 8 or whatever, 7 or 8 that I kind of immediately was like, yeah, I'm on board with these. And then everything else was just kind of like, okay, like which ones, like throw the dice, flip a coin, and we'll fill out my list with that. And that's kind of how I ended up where I ended up. But me saying that and hearing what you guys said brings us to the next level, because it sounds like we could get hairy here. John, based on everything we've said, how many do you think we're going to get through unanimously?
Yeah, I think Christian and I feel pretty confident that we can hit on a few, but as always, Justin, you are the wild card, and I don't know if the songs that have resonated with me for 30 years are going to resonate with you in the couple of weeks that you've had to listen to them. So I don't feel super confident that we're going to get a lot. So I'm going to, in the spirit of Sebadoh, I'm going to say 3.
Sebadoh.
Yeah.
All right. So John's going with 3, Christian. Do you think we do better or worse than 3?
I think there are a few standouts that, and I agree that you're the wild card. No offense, Justin, but I'm really intrigued. I'm really intrigued to see from what angle you take this. But I think John and I might hit on a few. I think there are a few standouts. I'm gonna go with 5.
Okay, nice middle of the road.
Yeah, that's me all over.
So, like my inclination is to swing positive here. For 2 reasons. Number one, as I always say, I don't want to win anyway. John will say, well, why don't you recuse yourself? I don't want to. Like I should force myself to play.
Just but 17 every time.
But see, less than 3 seems like way too few. There's almost always one that we go, really? That's the one? Okay. That, one of them gets through unanimously that seems like it's on nobody's radar. So I feel like 3 is like really the low end. So the question is, do I go more positive or do I split the difference? I'm going to split the difference. I'm going to go with 4. It's available. It was the number I was thinking initially. So I'm going to stick with 4.
I set it up for you. You slam dunk it.
There we go. All right. So with that, we're going to take a quick pause. And when we come back, we're going to play the game. It's the program. And with that, the name of the game is Deprogrammed. The 3 of us have combed through, I think it worked out to be a selection of the Sebadoh discography. I think there was something that got left out, right, John?
Yeah, there's a few things. And then, because there's so many singles and EPs and all the reunion stuff we didn't get into just because there's so much. But we pretty much hit on everything from the original run, minus a few songs from the Sebadoh.
Okay, so we have taken that part of the discography and each plucked out 20 songs that we're now going to mash together in an attempt to create a top 10 starter kit for you, in case you have never given Sebadoh the time of day. And I've been straying away from this strategy a lot lately, but it seems appropriate here. I mentioned in the lead up that I was trying to find songs that kind of walk the line between accessibility and inaccessibility. Like And what better way for me to start than right at the top of our list, The Freed Pig.
Yep, I have it.
Yes.
Okay, great.
That is the one I was thinking of. Like, that's the song that he wrote about Jay Mascis, about leaving Dinosaur Jr. And it's basically just a huge fuck you to him being like, all right, fine, I'll go start my own band.
I love that. Like, that extra layer to it really makes me happy.
Yeah, that was one of the ones that I alluded to that earlier on about saying that I felt there were some songs that had to be. I mean, it's a great song anyway, but some songs that had to be in it. It is the origin story of Sebadoh.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I know you'll have a track one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that one. It kind of, I want to say it gives you a false sense of security if you come into 3, because 3 is, as we probably sort of talk about, there is a huge mix and some challenge, but it's not pretty in terms of lyrically, but it's a pretty melody. It's quite an accessible, as you've mentioned, it's quite an accessible song. So it kind of thought, when I first heard that album, I thought, oh, I'm going to love this. And then the rest of the songs were like, oh, they're a little bit different. But yeah, definitely.
I think to that point, I don't know. It really could be in the conversation for our number one. We'll see what else gets through. But like, it also could very easily not be, because to your point, like, the rest of the record isn't like that. So like, but it does set you up. To me, it does set you up for what you're going to get with Sebadoh. So I always appreciate when that happens. Tell me what I'm going to get right off the jump. So, all right. Freed Pig is in. John, you're up.
All right. Speaking of mission statements, there's a song here that basically describes the previous 10 years of music. They thought hardcore sounded better slow. Give me indie rock.
Yeah, man. I got it.
Late cut.
Oh. I thought
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. 2s are good. I kept coming back to it. I thought that I was being too cute, but nah, man, like it felt right at home on my list, so I couldn't get rid of it. All right. Christian?
Okay, this is not where I was going to go first, but I am going to switch tactic quite early. I'm going to tell my story, how I got into Sebadoh. So every summer for a couple of years, sort of 16, 17, 18, we used to hang out at my friend Gavin's house. His mum and dad were like college instructors. They worked in a college, so they had like a huge summer holiday off, so they used to go off and traveling for weeks on it. We used to hang out at Gavin's house, just not doing much, but just playing records and, just listening to music. And somebody, I don't know if it was Gavin or it was another guy, they brought this vinyl, and it was this band that I'd never heard of, Sebadoh. I was a grunge kid. I always felt quite lucky to be born when I was, because I was kind of 16 when Nirvana came out, so I was all over the Nirvana, Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, and that stuff. And this record went on, and he said, "Oh, listen to this song," and it was like, whoa, okay. I'd always been into kind of alternative music, but it was alternative music that was mainstream, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of Iron Maiden, Anthrax, Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains. They're all massive bands and always were. And this was a band that felt different and edgy, and nobody's heard of these guys, and I just loved it. Anyway, the song was, depending on where you read it, Burned or Everybody's Been Burned.
I hate this. I hate when you get a great story.
Yeah, you can't come out of the gate doing that.
And it's going to whiff, is it?
Yeah, I don't have it.
Yeah, I don't have it either. Sorry.
It is a cover. It is a cover, but it's the first Sebadoh song I ever heard, and it was just, this is amazing. This is amazing.
Well,
but there we go.
I'll say this: at least you get the heartbreak out early.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I mean, that I will say that was on the original list. It came down to to that or something else, and I went with the other one.
So when I asked the audience what they thought Essential was, I got a lot of records. A lot of people ordering the records and, which order you should listen to them in and so on and so forth. I didn't get a lot of songs. I'm going here just because this was a specific song that I got. So I'm going to offer it up here. Brand New Love.
Yep.
Oh yeah, undoubtable.
Oh.
Yeah, one of the best songs.
Nice. Okay. So that person, if you listen to this show, you were very correct.
Yeah, well done.
All right, let me cue that up. I know it doesn't come through to you guys. Sorry. It's also coming in really quietly. This also happens to be the point where I knew I was in trouble, because I think I had most of this second record here on my first pass. So, all right, John.
All right. Cool. I'm gonna go to the bottom of the list, and see how this is gonna go. How about Mean Distance?
No, I don't have it.
No, me neither.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, Christian.
Right. Well, since I whiffed on my first one, I'm gonna try and come out swinging, try and get a hit. So I'm gonna go for one of my favorites, and it's gonna be on Harmacy, and I'm gonna go with Beauty of the Ride.
Oh, nope.
I got it. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll take that.
Yeah, twos. We will take the twos.
Yeah, I happen to think it's one of the songs where Lou Barlow's vocals are strongest. I think is that bit when he goes to halftime, and then it comes out of it with just, it's just the beauty of the... I just think his vocals are great, and it's that contrast of the sort of the pretty, and then the lyrics around So Let It Build, they let it explode, leaving blood and shattered bones. It's, again, that word contrast. It's, it's great. Yeah, it's up there. It's certainly in my top 3.
So I also want to point out at this point that Harmacy and Bake Sale were both a problem for me. So we haven't touched Bake Sale yet, I don't think. So how about I put out, let's go with Careful.
Yeah, I have it.
Yep.
Oh. All right.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't think that would be that was my number 20, actually. It just sneaked in.
See what I'm telling you? There's always one. I was worried that we all kind of liked Bake Sale and that we were all going to kind of pick, different songs from it. So that it was going to kind of end up spreading itself out.
Yeah. Could have easily had every song from there on this.
And for the record, like almost every answer I got had Bake Sale listed at number 1. So that's...
Yeah.
All right. John?
All right. It's a Jason song, right, as well?
Yep. I'm going to go to a song that's kind of an outlier in their catalog because it's so just pretty. And when I saw them on the Bake Sale / Harmacy reunion tour where they were playing a bunch of those songs, he said, like, yeah, I hate the way this song ended up on the record. If I had my way, we wouldn't have played it like that. They wanted to add strings and all these things, and then when they played it live, it was a lot more dirgy and a lot heavier. But this song is just high school to me. It's Willing to Wait.
No. I don't have
I don't. It was so close.
Yeah, and I get it because
so
like
close.
On the record, it's like it's such a weird thing. Like it's sandwiched in between those two weird instrumental songs, and like it's this kind of like ballady thing which they had never done. But the original version of it is called Beautiful Friend. Like the demo version, it breaks your heart every time. And that's a high school
it's
one for
amazing.
me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of 18 to 20. If I was doing this 30 years ago, it would be in every time. It's it's summed up that kind of, it's that angst and the kind of the unrequited love, and yeah, it's amazing. It just fell on the wrong side of sickly sweet for me, as I stand now. But yeah, 30 years ago, it definitely would have been it. But it's a great song.
All right. Christian?
Oh, round so quick again.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Let's go. Well, let's go then to 3, because I've not had a 3 yet. And probably my favorite song off 3.
Oh, no.
Violet Execution.
Oh, I got it.
Yes.
No.
I thought that was a risky one. But yeah, I love it. That chord sequence. Dun, 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 and then the walking bass. Dun, 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 and then it's great. And but it's also got that. So it's got the sort of the sweet, and then it's on the mask in your face. It's got the shouty bit as well. So it's got a bit of everything. I love that song.
That's one of the ones I was listening to beforehand. That's one like when it came up, I'm like, I have this one, right? And I was like, oh, thank God. I don't have to make room for it.
Legends of Torture rock you to sleep.
Ooh.
Lost bitch hits the switch. I don't give a hoot. There's some great lines in that song as well.
I don't know where I want to go here.
We're even so far. 3 in the conversation, 3 in the trash, 3 on the list.
Yeah. I mean, we could easily pass John's 3, or we could just be in the bin from here on out. I feel like it could go either way. All right. I keep scrolling past this one. This one's jumping out at me right now, so let's find out. 2 years, 2 days.
No.
I got it.
Like you said, John, very, very even. It's weird the way this one's working out. I like it, though. All right, John?
All right. License to Confuse.
Yeah, I got it.
I don't.
Ooh. Here we go now.
I thought that was a risk not having it because it's a track one.
Yeah. I guess to be fair, that is kind of my thing. I don't know that I noted that on my first pass. Maybe. I've done my best to like not let that influence my picks, but clearly it got through on this one. So, all right, Christian.
Okay, I'm gonna go with the track one. On Fire.
No.
No, and like that was probably number 21.
Trash?
Unfortunately, yes.
Oh man.
Unfortunately, yes. I wonder if I don't remember where it hit the floor, but I wonder if it's funny. I wonder if I took it out because it was a track one. I do that sometimes, just so people don't to throw people off the scent, as it were.
Yeah, it's another great Lou Barlow melody.
Oh man, I don't know where I want to go. How about Magnet's Coil?
Yes.
Gotta find a way to loosen up. Yep.
Hey, all right. So now we definitely need to at least get one more. Don't put this on me, fellas. Magnet's Coil is in. I I love the guitars. I love these guitars.
There's an acoustic version on the Rebound EP that's very good as well.
Magnet's coil is in. All right, John?
All right. This is maybe the quintessential early Sebadoh song. How about Soul and Fire?
I got it.
No, I don't have it.
What? All right.
I think we just officially got it out of NTP. I think so. Yep. All right. Soul and Fire is a 2. Christian?
Okay, I'm gonna go back to 3, and I'm gonna go for Limb by Limb.
No.
No.
I didn't think it would. we talked about cutting down the list.
Yeah, 3 is
And-
so hard. Like, it's all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's an Eric Gaffney song, which
Mhm.
is not like me. I'm very much a Lou Barlow truther, but I think there's lots about it that's great. It's that kind of drum, the whole drum thing. That's great, and there's a cry ringing out over land and sea. If you read the lyrics, it's weird. I googled the lyrics because I could have sworn that it was some kind of epic poem that they just put to music, but I can't find it anywhere. Every time I Google the lyrics, it just comes up as Limb by Limb, Sebadoh. So there's some strange writing going on there. But I guess that's Eric. But no, I love that song. But I wasn't optimistic that it would hit. But I wanted to play it. So
Yeah, sometimes you bring them just to bring them. Like,
yeah, exactly.
people should know the song.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
All right, let me try to another one of my harmonies here. How about Crystal Gypsy?
No.
Yeah,
No.
Love that song, though.
I knew I was going to have to hit the bin eventually. All right, there we go. John? Oh wait.
All right, let's go with the hit as I do the quotation marks with my fingers here. How about Rebound?
Yeah, I got it.
Undeniable.
Rebound.
Yeah, it's a great song, but it got elevated when I heard the acoustic version.
And that same
Which
Rebound
might-
EP, yeah.
I'm assuming it's on that same one as the Magnus
Mhm.
Coil.
Mhm.
Yeah, when I heard that, I thought, when you hear it stripped down, you think, yeah, that is a great song.
Oh yeah, I had that little CD, import CD. Well, probably local to you, but import to me. It was over here.
Oh, yeah,
And Social Medicine, a great song on there. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, just like that, we're at 5. So if we miss from here on out, Christian, your first time out, you're going to win.
the pressure.
All right. Let's see. Rebound was John. Christian, you're up.
Okay. I kind of had a hard time getting away from the songs that I already knew. But there was the one that probably the song that I wasn't familiar with when doing this list that hit me hardest. So I'm going to play that. Love is Stronger.
No.
No,
Okay.
I just don't like that record. It's just it's weird. It never hit with me.
All right.
Okay.
1 and... All right. Where do I go next? There's a lot of songs with the word love in it. I just realized as I was trying to find that one via search. Okay. This one keeps jumping out, so let's find out. How about Sacred Attention?
No.
No.
Okay. Into the bin he goes. All right, John?
All right. This one I think is kind of one of the more like under the radar classic Sebadoh songs. Think Let Tomorrow Be.
No.
Oh, it's a late cut.
Uh,
I tried with Bubble and Scrape. and that was the closest I got, and it was the one that I thought I've got to put a bubble and scrape in, and it was that, and it just got squeezed out at the end.
All right.
Good song though.
Christian, you're up.
Right, this is one that does make me feel uncomfortable. It's Mystery Man.
No, I don't have that.
No.
I think the again, I'm using that word a million times today, but melody, I think the tune is amazing. I've loved the song, but the themes are pretty. But I just want to thank the process for ruining my favorite Sebadoh song. So thanks to the program.
Yeah, the back half of Big Sale is really tough because the first half is very immediate, like all these rockers, and then the second half it gets dark and like there's some slower stuff, but it's all really good. But there, just wasn't room for it.
All right. I'm thinking maybe, because I think I only got like 6 left, so I'm thinking maybe this is our last full round, and then we'll dump out after this one. How about, again, I'll try another Ocean here, or a Pharmacy here. Ocean is the name of the song.
No, not for me.
I got it. That was the one I picked over On Fire at the very, very end.
Hey, we'll take that too. Gets me out of the bin for a round at least. All right, John?
How about Truly Great Thing?
No.
No, it was on my first cut.
What?
Yeah, I don't know where that one fell out.
Wow.
But again, that's one of those ones I was listening to beforehand, trying to find a place for. All right, Christian?
Okay, if this is the last proper round, I've got to pull out my last favorite, which is Too Pure.
Nope.
No. The back half of Pharmacy too. It's like there's great songs on there, but it gets so weird.
Oh, that intro.
Yeah.
That arpeggiated intro and the lines again. I want to hold you close, but I can't lift my arms up. And say, I've got a saint. That I can't remember the rest of that line, but again, some great lines in that. Wow. I'm missing a lot. I need practice.
Welcome to Deprogrammed.
Yeah.
C'est la vie. All right, so I'm going to start at the top here and see how many of these we can kind of throw into the conversation here. Crisis.
Nope.
No.
Vampire.
Nope.
Oh, late cut.
All right. Fantastic Disaster.
Nope.
No.
All right. Dreams.
Super late cut.
Yeah, no.
All right. I was super right about these, I guess. Putting these at the back. Prince S.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, wow. That means we lose. We all lose. Nobody gets the final say.
Got another Jason song. That's cool.
Yeah, that's my favorite Jason song.
What's look? Forgive me, but a bit at the beginning is always going to get me. What does he say? Like something like,
"Count it off, smart guy."
Yeah, that's right. And
Jason's doing a solo tour right now. He's up through the Northeast.
Oh.
So if you're in that, Justin may be in your area a little bit. He's doing a solo tour.
I'll have to look at it. But doesn't count it off, smart guy, and then they count it, but nobody starts playing, and he goes, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
It's like, all right, well, you got me. And then the song just happens to be really great too. So
yeah, bangs. Yeah.
All right, so I love when a dump out gets a unanimous. We were all sitting on that one apparently. All right, I only got 2 left. Worst thing?
Nope.
No.
And last but not least, weird.
No.
It was on my first cut, my shortlist, but no, didn't make it through.
All right, so what did we end up with? 6 unanimous. So none of us win. I can put that aside for now. All right, John.
All right, I've got a couple off of Bubble and Scrape. I know Christian's not going to have, so we'll just get those out. I've got Cliche and 16.
Cliche was on my first cut, yeah.
And then I have Spoiled
Late cut again.
and Skull.
No.
All right. Let me find Skull real quick, and then there it is. All right, just for fun, Christian, dump out whatever you got left.
I got quite a few left.
Oh.
So one more from my top 10, which is Not a Friend.
Oh.
Off Bake Sale. I've got, what else have I got off Bake Sale? Together or Alone. It's that kind of, that's in with the Willing to Wait for me, that kind of teenage angst kind of thing. Open Ended. Off Pharmacy. Then off 3, I've got Supernatural Force. Thought that was the dirty and the pretty, because you've got the grunginess and then is kind of the chord progression again, the ding 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 ding. Then I have Not So Nora Selkirk.
That one was,
because it was on
that
was... EP. Yeah, it was on the EP that Burned was on, so it was kind of, there was that Brand New Love and Burned, that was that kind of 3 songs that was they were the first kind of 3 Sebadoh songs for me.
Circles around Rustin, if you will.
Yes, indeed.
That one was number 21 for me.
And it's not, thing is, it's not representative. I don't think it's got vibes of At the Drive-In for me. I think sort of that kind of thing, that sort of shouty sort of thing. And then the last one, just so I can say this, I'm just me. Listen to me. A whole all-American original. It's Don't Mind. I've been wanting to say that all podcast. So.
Oh man, that's funny. Like, again, that was another one that was late. Like, I would guess 23, 24, maybe as late as 25. It was a last cut. I'll put it to you that way.
I do want to say real quick before we get into the rest of this, like, Sebadoh is the ultimate, like, high school mixtape crush band. Like, you could make an amazing mixtape out of the songs that are on the trash here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Truly Great Thing, Too Pure, Willing to Wait, Worst Thing, 16, Not a Friend. So good.
So we got 6 through unanimously. The Freed Pig, Brand New Love, Careful, Magnets Coil, Rebound, Princess. First question is, obviously we've got 3 through on Bake Sale already. Is that the limit on Bake Sale, or do we care about album representation?
There's only one more that could really make it, so
oh yeah, you're right.
We'll see.
Yeah. All right, so we got 7 that we need to trim down to 4. So we got Gimme Indie Rock, Beauty of the Ride, Violet Execution, 2 Years, 2 Days, License to Confuse, Soul and Fire, and Ocean. So I guess to direct the first question is, do we care about album representation first and then tackle the last Bake Sale, or just best songs available?
No, I mean it has to be Soul and Fire, right? If Soul and Fire doesn't make the list, then I don't know what we're doing here.
Yeah, I'm not going to stand. I felt bad not having anything from Bubble and Scrape, but it was that kind of, because that one I was new to, so I'm more than comfortable with that.
All right, so let's grab that. That gets us up to 7. All right, so Christian, was there one that jumps out at you in the same way? Like, I can't believe we didn't get that one.
Beauty of the Ride for me.
Okay, I was the odd man out there. So, all right, let's get that. All right, so number 9. So we still have 2 spots left. Is this where we start thinking about representation? I mean, now we've got Bubble and Scrape in, right? Are we just taking top 2, or are we thinking about sounds? Like, what do you think, John?
Yeah, sounds is probably more important, but I mean, we have a lot of the more songwritery type stuff just got in. Like, none of the really weird, noisy stuff made it this far. So I kind of want to do I kind of want to fuck with this a little bit and just throw in Violet Execution in 2 Years, 2 Days, and because the other ones are all, I mean, Gimme Indie Rock is kind of a novelty thing a little bit. Like that doesn't have to be on here, I think. But License to Confuse and Ocean are both more of the like more quote unquote regular type of songs. I think throw a little bit of a wrench in this thing and let's do 2 Years, 2 Days and Violet Execution.
What do you think, Christian?
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. 'Cause for me, License to Confuse and Magnet's Coil feel similar. So with Magnet's Coil being in, but I didn't want to be the guy saying that because I think you guys had that one.
It didn't feel good to say it. Trust me, I love the songs.
I mean, yeah, Violet Execution. That's the one again, just because it's the one I think I played it. I would definitely go into bat for that, and I think. We talked about earlier on about the freed pig not being representative of 3. Well, at the moment, we've only got the freed pig from 3.
Mm-hmm.
So Violet Execution, I think, is a bit more representative of what you're going to find on the rest of that record. Yeah. So I think it's a good choice.
Now, as far as 2 Years, 2 Days as being our number 10, how do you feel about that? Kind of, again, gearing towards sound.
I'm going to have to look that up because I can't place it. It's Bubble and Scrape, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Justin, can you play it a little bit?
I can. I don't know if you guys will be able to hear it, but...
Yeah. Leave the mic on, maybe.
But it immediately is kind of discordant.
Yeah, I think I'm fine with it. And I think because as well, I think there's that novelty factor of Gimme Indie Rock, which is probably why it was a late cut, but it's probably why I didn't play that.
Mm-hmm.
And Ocean, this is just me. I'm just not keen. It's too, I don't know. I just don't, there's something about that song I don't really like. I don't like the sort of the I don't know. It's too sing-songy. So if you guys want to go with 2 Years, 2 Days, that works for me.
All right, so rather nice and tidy. Let's wrap that up. So here's our 10: The Freed Pig, Brand New Love, Careful, Magnet's Coil, Rebound, Prince S, Soul and Fire, Beauty of the Ride, Violet Execution, 2 Years, 2 Days. Now, John, we have those 10 songs as our 10. Which one of those is the one?
Oh, it's easy. Brand New Love.
Ooh, what do you think, Christian? Brand New Love?
Yeah, it's a strong contender, definitely. And I read somewhere. Do you know what? It bugs me because I read it somewhere and then I lost it and I couldn't find it again. That somebody said it's like the greatest love song that they've heard or something. Something was really high praise, and it was by somebody who was quite prominent, but I can't remember. That's really good, really good fact there. But yeah, I would have no issues with Brand New Love. It's a great song. All
right. Oh, you know what? Just as an aside, I forgot about this, Christian. I just was looking up on Threads. Somebody on Threads earlier today. This to lighten up. I think this one went in the bin for you. But Too Pure might be the best song ever was a response I got.
Well, there you go.
So
I feel better.
There, just to lighten that up. But yeah, I think aside from it just being probably the best song available, the fact that it was the only song that we got, I think that speaks volumes to it. And I really do think the purpose being, drawing somebody in, and this being the representation for the band and the best of episode, I think this is the best foot we can put forward with this band. So I'm with it.
Yeah. Do you know what? I think thinking it through as well, it's got the love theme, which we've picked up on through. It's that kind of angsty thing. It's pretty. The intro is really pretty, but then there's that fuzz, isn't there, in the chorus? So
it gets real dirgy. And
yeah, exactly. So it's kind of like a microcosm of everything they do. So I do think it fits perfectly.
All right, so Brand New Love will be our number 1. The Freed Pig, Careful, Magnet's Coil, Rebound, Prince S, Soul and Fire, Beauty of the Ride, Violet Execution, 2 Years, 2 Days rounds out our 10. Let's let Brand New Love get a moment in the sun. You know what? Now that you say it, it really is a microcosm, because it is kind of like what I said. Like it walks that balance between on its surface, it is like if you were to hear an acoustic version of it, super accessible, like catchy, but like the layers that they put to it make it just inaccessible enough to not be like some pop song. You know what I mean? Like I think that's a great choice. So we did it. We have done it. We have turned you into Sebadoh fans. You're very welcome for that. You may have gone your whole life without them, and that's truly a shame. This really is. John has a very high batting average with bands he's putting out. That this one is like one of the most in the Justin vein bands we've done in a while. So, aside from that, you want to come play like Christian did today for the first time ever? It's simple. Go to legionofstupid.com. You click shows. You click deprogrammed. A little bit halfway down maybe is the sign-up sheet. Tell me what band you want to talk about. If it's one we haven't done yet, I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible, and we'll get the ball rolling on you coming and talking about a band that you like. Also, obviously, you can listen to the show there. That would be cool if that's what you want to do. We're a podcast, so obviously, if you're listening on a podcast platform, subscribing, rating, commenting, all that would be super helpful. If you're listening on Spotify, 5 stars would be awesome. Definitely helps the algorithm find us better. And leaving a comment under the Q&A would be super helpful as well. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, where most of you are listening, 5 stars again would be great, and leaving a comment. Hey, I listened to this episode. This would have been my list. You know, however you want to do it. Any way would be super helpful, but 5 stars would be big time helpful. Let's see, what else? Subscribing, rating, commenting, sharing. Sharing is caring, as they say. Telling somebody that you listen to the show is super duper helpful. Hey, I listen to Deprogrammed. You should too. And then, of course, there's patreon.com/oh hi Justin, where $1 a month gets you in the door. And then you get Deprogrammed before the rest of the world, as long as I can stay ahead of editing. You know, sometimes the logjam gets in the way of that. You get the After the Fact conversation that we are going to have immediately after this show. That goes immediately up to Patreon. It also gets you access to certain channels in our Discord, the Legion of Stupid Discord. It also gets you the Oh Hi Justin podcast, which is semi-daily. You know, it's most days. And, you know, other random, you know, audio things that I kind of throw up there. So it's $1 a month. It gets you in the door, and it's super helpful to me in my creation process. So we mentioned Discord, we mentioned subscribing, rating, commenting, we mentioned legionofstupid.com, we mentioned signing up. I think that covers everything. So with that, Sebadoh. Learn them and love them, people. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.